game, so you just can't jump in. I'm sorry. Des Semporium. Do horror game creators get scared of their own creation sometimes?
I'm sure.
No. What happens really is that after a while, you play the game so many times, you don't know if it's scary or not. If in the beginning, the first time that, I say, hey,
That's probably true. Holy shit. Yeah, he's probably right about that.
let's do this
Damn.
here. And if the first time I see it, I jump or I get scared, then I know it's good. Hold on, I've got something.
Okay.
So this is Two Head from the Callisto Protocol. Okay. I'm sure that the first time you see him, you will be very scared. We went through a lot of iterations to get to this. He's morphed into two heads, and you can actually blow off either side, and one head will fall off, and they'll still be coming at you with half his body.
I like that.
So he's pretty scary, and he's really hard to kill. At Mama Leyoshi, why are video games $60? Why are they all $60? Who agreed on that? I don't know who agreed on all that. I surely didn't. I think that it's the console guys who come up with the cost, but
yeah, that's how it was. Because for the longest fucking time, you gotta keep in mind, like, most games for Super Nintendo were like $40 or $50. Like if you're getting like Super Mario RPG or something like that, that was $50. But if you're getting, just like your random ass game, I don't know, like a Goof Troop game or something like that, it's like $40. Then they went up to $50 in the GameCube era, where $50 was pretty much the standard price, and there's only a handful of them that were 40. And then in the Xbox 360 era, we saw things go all the way up to $60. I remember I bought Doom 3 for $60.
Maybe some of the publishers had something to do with it, but I gotta be honest with you. They've been like $50, $60 for, what, a decade? Something like that?
Is he about to say the thing that I've been saying?
In which time games have doubled or quadrupled in cost.
Wow. I feel very validated right now. I feel very, very fucking validated right now. Wow. What a surprise. Who could have... Yeah, it's obvious. The thing is, yes, I'm not a fucking genius for thinking of this. It's fucking obvious. Yeah, everyone with the brain knows that. Yeah, that's why everybody in chat was disagreeing with me whenever I said it. Yeah, I know. I didn't understand. Everybody was like, I was like getting gaslighted or something about this. Like, how the fuck are people saying this isn't real?
And the price hasn't gone up. And you can see the difference between a PlayStation 2 game and a PlayStation 5 game, and you're almost paying the same price. Man, I don't want to put the cost on the fan. I don't. But they're expensive to make.
Well, they do put the cost on the fan, but it's voluntary. That's why they have battle passes and they have microtransactions. Microtransactions and battle passes are how these companies have bridged the gap, because the price is inelastic. People will simply not pay $90 for a video game. This will not happen. So because it doesn't happen, then they have to find other ways to make money with the games outside of the actual box cost.
They really are. At Spirit, Destiny You, how do you write a video game script? Well, it's pretty complex. I don't consider myself a writer. I consider myself a storyteller. So I'll write 20 pages or something on what this game was. And once I have a story and I talk to everybody sort of into it and through it and whatever, we bring on our writers. The next 2-3 years, the writers are working with me and they're writing the script. And they're adding the characters and things like that. So it is a long process because a video game is pretty long, 10, 12, 13 hours, something like that. So the scripts are big. They change a lot because this is about gameplay and something might not be fun. We leave a lot of room for change. At C. Cattell, who makes up these game ratings? Comic Mischief? Come on, really? I don't have a problem with the game ratings. It seems like most games that deserve an M get an M. I've never had a problem with a games rating. I think maybe in the early days we had...
The only problem that I ever had with game ratings is that I think that games with gambling purchases should not be marketed as like teen or E for everyone games. I think that like if your game has gambling purchases or gotcha in it, then it should be an adults only game. Period. No questions asked.
Had one, a problem with one in Europe, and we worked on that one in the European countries. But at the end of the day, we talked them into what it should be. I don't have a problem with it. Now, but the critic scores, oh boy, I could talk to you all day about that.
Yeah, I bet.
Aika 95. I never knew that motion capture process also included with voice acting recording. Or did they record that separately and their lip mimic on motion capture? There's another process called performance capture, or what we call PCAP. And that's actually where we capture the voice acting. On motion capture, it's really just about the movements. The fidelity isn't the same as performance capture, which are big stages that we actually have to go down to Hollywood to do. There's only a couple down there, so we go down to only one. And here's an example of us getting the motion of a kill scene.
Okay. Primo dodges, he strikes the legs, so slams him out, he comes up, cracks, splits the head open.
Right, okay. We don't really do the lips and the voice here on motion capture, but we'll get 75% of the moves for the game, at least.
My hot take on this is that none of this shit matters at all. Motion capture for video games does not matter. As long as it's cool. It's like, for example, like, did they use motion capture for fatalities in Mortal Kombat whenever it came out? No, they fucking didn't. They just came up with some stuff that looked really, really cool. I don't think that it matters for a lot of players. It is something that has a lot of value. Yes, they did. Wait, no way they did. You mean like the original Mortal Kombat? No way. What the fuck? I didn't even know that. That's not motion capture? Yeah, if that's true, like, holy fuck. Yeah, I'll have to look at that afterwards. I mean, reference for animations? The old uses real footage. Okay. Wow.
In the
I guess, like, to me, I don't really place a lot of value in this. I think it's like something that studios spend too much money on. It's something that, like, to me as a player, it doesn't really increase my value of the game, or like the value of the game to me, as much as it probably costs.
Capture studio. At Tressa Amuru. Sorry, I'm not good at making scary things. How do horror games come up with the most unnerving stuff? Play a lot of scary games, watch a lot of movies. If you're passionate about anything, right, you're going to get into it. You're going to be studying it. You're going to be absorbed in it for years. I've been like a sci-fi horror fan since I was really young. I'm constantly thinking about it, constantly have ideas in my head. So, I know I have some. But for us, I put it out to the team. We got 200 people. They're going to come up with ideas. I'm always asking them for ideas. Because it's not about my ideas always getting in the game. It's about the best ideas getting in the game. I don't care where it comes from. So we're constantly asking the team and having brainstorming meetings and doing things like that. The second part, and how do the creators of them not like scare the shit out of themselves when looking at their own assets? Sometimes I got to tell you, like with the door system that we have in our new game, the first time I saw some of that stuff, I was shocked. Not necessarily like scared, but I was really psyched because I'm like, that's brand new. Haven't seen that. That's going to gross people out, especially on the latest platform. I mean, consoles. Man, this stuff looks amazing. At Twofool, why are video games important? Video games are
they're entertainment, right? I mean, like, I don't know, why does something have to be important? They're not important to a lot of people, right?
I think incredibly important. They are an art form. It's entertainment.
Yes,
it's a social network. They're just, part of pop culture now. They are part of our world. Video games are bigger than movies and music combined, doubled.
That is
They're that
crazy.
huge. I also
What the
think
fuck?
that they're the next medium. We're already doing it to tell a great story. I mean, look at video games and the difference between where they were 10 years ago and where they are today. Huge jump. We're always working on next technology. What's the next thing?
Yeah.
Movies, which I love, 10 years ago to today, it's not a big leap, right?
Yeah, there has been a big leap, but it's been backwards.
Video games are constantly changing. That's one of the hardest things about making them, but it's also one of the funnest things. At X24 Sonic, it's a long one. How the do you design levels? Like, in a survival horror game building, how do you decide which rooms are locked or empty and what order the player would go through them? How do you come up with a layout progression? Because I don't know where to start. That could take me all day to answer, but we start off with a paper idea, a paper map. We have software now that we can lay it out.
Like
We can move things around and stuff like that, and this is done by the designer. So the designers are laying out the gameplay. When people look at it and go, hey, that looks pretty good, we don't know yet, but well, we think it looks good. We then go into our engine and we lay it out in blocks. We call it block row. Very simple mesh. We put a character in and we run through it. If we like that, we then have the artist look at it because the designer is just looking at fun. So sometimes they'll have a hallway go into a bathroom and the bathroom have a second door that goes into a bedroom. So we have to get it right. The artist will go in and make sure architecturally the building is correct and tell them we have to rework it a bit. As far as which ones are locked and which ones are empty and everything, that comes with the gameplay. That's usually probably 50% is got on your paper map over the course of making a level. And making a level can take 2 years because you're working on it, iterating, putting the enemies in. So it takes a long time. These things change. At Angelo's End, why are the simplest games always the best? I hear what you're saying, but I don't necessarily agree.
I think that there's a lot of games that are good that are simple, but there's a lot of games that are good that are complex too. It depends on like the way the game is. Like for example, like playing tic-tac-toe is good, but so is playing Monopoly. Monopoly is way more complex than tic-tac-toe. The Vampire Survivors or something like that. But there are complicated games. It's just like different types of games for different people, I would say. It's like saying that comedy movies are better than action movies or something like that.
Some of the simplest games are great. Like, it's easy to get in, easy to understand, and you don't have a lot of startup time to get into it. Rocket League and even Call of Duty to an extent is easy to get into these days.
Compared to,
It's hard to play against a lot of people.
Seems
But
like
I like games that take not a long time to get into it, but they build up the mechanics a bit. It takes a little while, and you're learning the story and all. So I'm not always about the simplest game, but I understand what you're saying. At Jeff Whitmore 1, what is this
I
character?
think they're also like very appealing to a large audience. A simple game can attract more people because there's less of a barrier to entry.
Video game ever? Very good question. And I'm sure a lot of people have different answers, but mine has got to be one of the Silent Hills. Probably Silent Hill 2. I mean, when that horn went off and I knew Pyramid Head was coming at me, I just ran. And that was terrifying. Or you're in the fog, your little Geiger counter goes off and you knew something was around you. Just really frightening. So, great game. Scared the heck out of me. I wish they would make more. Portable G. Some great names here. What makes a good horror game? Well, obviously one that you keep wanting to go through it, right? Because you know you're going to get scared, but if you want to play the whole thing, that's a good horror game. But what makes it good? Well, I think story is important. I think story will pull you through, right? Obviously tension.
I think with horror games, like, story and tension are probably the most important thing. Like, I've actually never really played a horror game, so I'm just guessing. But it seems to me like that's the point where I would like really focus and like really worry.
And sound,
it's
music,
like the
will get
tension
you
of it. I
through.
hate tension.
Not being frustrated. That is a fine line when we're making a game. We can make something that kills you 10 times, but you'll just throw your controller and blame us. But if you die like 3 times, you're kind of blaming yourself and you want to do it again. So we are really careful about how hard you make it. We get analytics and watch people play and all sorts of things. So we don't want you too frustrated. Somebody said to me once, they're like, what I loved about Dead Space was that every level I knew you were going to show me something new and exciting and different. Whether it scared me or not, I couldn't put it down. At Adele, Pinot Music, how important is sound design for a video game? Wow.
Well, I played Warzone. I'll tell you one thing, it's pretty fucking important. Whenever you don't have it, it sucks. It really is. It's very important. It depends on the game, though.
Right up my alley. Especially for a horror game. Sound design and music and everything else is 50% of the game, right? It's 50% of the horror. I consider music and audio in a horror game a feature. It's a mechanic. It's that important. And, for all my other video games, I've been sitting in the booth with the audio directors for 20 years. It's that important to me. But in a horror game, it's a mechanic. Let's say you're doing a machine. Well, for a scary game, the machine should sound scary. And so we make sure that anything we kind of put in, even though it's relatable, it's going to have a weird or an off-putting sound. And then we get the music in. And when I say music, it's not music as you know. I mean, it's scary. It's got weird instruments. Sometimes it gets a little abstract. And the whole idea here is to add that tension. And that's the key to a horror game, because then you can make your scares much better and much bigger because they're already sort of dense. And then at that point, when we do a scare, what we call a stinger. Here's an example of a stinger from the Callisto Protocol. It's got to be on point. It's got to be right there, right on the money, or it's not going to be good. So we spend a lot of time getting the timing right. At 214
I
DJ.
wonder if I would actually get scared playing a scary game. I don't really, I've watched scary movies before. I just never really watched scary movies or play scary games. So yeah, I have no idea.
YTF, is Elden Ring so hard, bro? Well, I guess that's subjective, but yeah, from what I hear, I haven't played it. Right? Pretty busy right now with this video game.
You haven't played Elden Ring? Oh my god. Is this what it's like whenever people have a job? Jesus, I can't believe that. Okay, good.
From what I hear, yes, it's very hard. But that's sort of what's going on in the video game industry right now. And I've seen it go up and down over the years. Sometimes they get a little bit easier, and then they get a little bit harder. We're going through that period right now. As a matter of fact, we're going to make ours pretty tough, too. I just think it's sort of that point in video games, and just keep playing, you'll get through it.
I think that's probably true. Like, a lot of people want to have more difficult games. I think that's more of a focus nowadays, especially because, like, there's, like, more of a focus on, like, streaming and like, also seeing other people play the games. And whenever you're watching somebody play a game, and the game has no stakes on it because it's just so easy, then, yeah, I think it makes it less engaging.
At TDSN 19, how well does a finger mocap work? I have one right here. It's awesome. We used to have to animate the fingers, and it was a lot of work. You mocap the whole thing, then you got to go in because the hands got to look right. They got to grip the guns, they got to grip this, they got to punch. They've saved us a lot of time, a lot of energy, and a lot of headaches. Well worth their money, and they work great. At Nick Gate.
I find it so fucking funny that whenever I was saying how mocap isn't that big of a deal for like games, I used the game. It was the first game to use mocap. I can't believe that. Yeah, I looked at it. Yeah, Mortal Kombat was like the first one. Holy shit, man.
Stage 1. I always wondered, how long does motion capture usually take to finish? By having a motion capture stage here at Striking Distance Studios, we're able to capture motion every day. If we need to get a run, we can do a run in the morning. By the afternoon, the run is in the game. Might need a little tweak here and there, or maybe something to get from one
So
end.
I'm assuming like the different points on the motion capture, they're effectively like They're like points on a skeleton of the model that's ported into the game. Like that's basically what it is. Yeah.
To the other, we do it in real time, and then we just take that motion and we put it in game. So it's really quick, and that's what makes quality for us. Being here in the studio gives us the ability to have quality because we can do something over and over and over again. And the key of video games is iteration. At All Things Horror, what is your favorite?
It's like it's crazy to think that that can actually save money and save time. But whenever you think about it and you understand how it works, it makes sense.
Monster design in a video game. Is there any obscure ones you think deserve more praise? Wow, I have seen some great ones. I mentioned Pyramid Head before. Pyramid Head is just.
I think Guinevere in Dark Souls 1. Yeah. If I could think of any video game model, like really good one, yeah, that would be my favorite.
Weird, right? And so I gotta hand it to them for that one. I like Nemesis from Resident Evil. I mean, Resident Evil over the years has had some really good ones, but I think I'm gonna stick with those two for now. Big Ass Luigi, how the hell do game physics work? Do you have to give the program the formula for gravity or what? I'm not an engineer, I'm an artist. But yes, we've been working with physics for 20, 30 years now. So game physics, some of that is when the character falls, they hit the ground, right? That's gotta look good, and that's game physics in itself. That is a huge thing that we have in games, and it's very expensive. That's why sometimes when a character's down on the ground, you go to kick them, they don't move in some games, because if they move, you're talking about just using up performance and things like that. So that's why you see that. The formula for gravity, or no, we don't have to do that. Now, Zero G, which we had in one of my games, Dead Space, we had to take it because you're floating around, and that took a lot of work. It was like when we have to do swimming and put them in water.
That's a good point. There's very few games that actually do swimming in a way that's not fucking annoying. I think one of the only games that didn't annoy the shit out of me whenever it had swimming was Sekiro. I remember the Sekiro swimming was pretty good.
It had to feel something like that. I'll tell you one of the secrets of Death Space was, when you're in Zero G, you're kind of moving differently. Well, we put it in what we thought was real Zero G timing. It started feeling sluggish. So what we did was we gave it the same amount of speed as the regular walk, but we made the animation look slower. And so we never got that sluggishness, and no one ever knew that it was same time. No, same speed. No one ever got that. Hannah, Marie, can someone explain to me why I get actual anxiety when I'm playing a video game? As if I might be shot in real life. Well, let's hope that doesn't happen, Hannah. The anxiety is, of course, you don't want to die. You don't want to, have to start over. Everybody, whatever you've accumulated, whether it's going through the level or, upgrades and stuff.
What she means is, like, obviously, like, all these questions are in the context of a scary game. And what she means is, like, yeah, whenever I'm playing a scary game, why do I feel like I'm the person who it's happening to?
Don't lose that. You've earned that. So I think that's part of it. In a horror game, the anxiety is what we want you to have all throughout it. Anxiety and tension, because
I love how the answer is like, why do you get anxiety? Because that's what we're trying to give you. That's why. We just did it. We win.
Then we can scare you more. So that is something that we try and manufacture. If a game isn't manufacturing it like on purpose, like we are, it just comes from not wanting to start over, not wanting to go to a checkpoint, not wanting to die, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's all the questions for today. I appreciate you sending them in, and I hope you learned something.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. Wow. Dude, it was the questions. No, I think that they were totally fine, man. Yeah, I like the videos. I like you guys for the video itself. Yeah, I feel like those are some interesting questions.
just business.
Someone's about to get hurt.
Apparently, I'm some sort of big deal. Go time! Apparently, I'm some sort of big deal.
Keep it simple. Get paid and get out. It's just business.
Keep it simple.
Get paid and get out.
Dragon's breath it is.
Time to start some trouble.
Some sort of big deal.
Let's make this fun.